Sustainable development has attracted the interest of the scientific community, as well as policymakers such as the United Nations and the European Union. An important area understanding is the role of innovations in enhancing sustainability. This is because innovations are constantly changing the external environment and lifestyle while being important means of achieving sustainability. However, in practice, the pace of change towards a more sustainable world appears to be significantly slow, and there are calls for action from conscious entities such as organizations, educational institutions, and governments to implement innovative approaches to solving sustainability challenges. And the promotion of human rights ad could uh, take care about occupational justice too. An important issue that society faces in recent years and finds many obstacles are environmental challenges such as air and water pollution, waste disposal and management, the destruction of the ozone layer, and of course climate change. From researches that have been conducted, it becomes evident that environmental changes affect the way of life. Specifically, for example, in his study, Zahariadis argues that climate change is responsible for a wide range of consequences, such as sea level rise, ocean acidification, droughts, melting glaciers, and extreme weather events, such as heat, floods, storms, hurricanes, etc. In addition to these serious consequences, Wheeler and von Braun also argue that climate change affects crop productivity and has implications for food availability, which could potentially disrupt food supply chains and human progress towards a world without hunger. It is obvious that environmental challenges have a direct correlation with the way we live and consume, while the state of the natural environment moves parallel to the economic and social dimension. So, in that thematic section that will be explored is sustainability as a political attitude and its approach through films aimed at social transformation and inclusion. In more detail, the basic definitions and principles of sustainability will be examined while seeking to emphasize the daily practices of individuals that promote sustainability and a green lifestyle. Since films are inspired by everyday life, it is of particular interest how to approach political attitudes guided by the standards of sustainability and green development. Me, as a cinephile, I noticed the changes in the ways of behavior of movie heroes and the related messages, and I decided that it would be of high interest to investigate in depth and connect the principles of sustainable development with them. Through the analysis of the behaviors of the movie protagonists and their interaction with the environment, the contribution of individuals to the protection of the environment, ecological model, model moho, sustainable development, equality, saving resources, and sustainability as a whole can be better understood. The author's initial position is in that research is that political attitudes should be changed along with environmental facts, while film pictures greatly contribute to the adoption and promotion of specific attitudes and principles and political status. Through these thoughts, I started to study and citizens' behaviors because as citizens' behaviors are directly related to the environment and sustainable development, it is considered that the need to promote environmentally friendly behaviors is imperative. However, changing the political attitude of individuals is one of the most difficult undertakings. It is stated that when people are requested to express their opinion on environmental issues such as global warming, many will express concerns and environment-friendly attitudes. However, when people are asked about today's most important issues, the environment usually ranks low, according to Verplaken and Troy researches. Many of the daily behaviors of individuals are indicated so that by transforming them, they contribute to sustainable development. These include daily shopping, transport, leisure activities, water consumption. However, changing habits is not an easy task. Specifically, environmental issues are viewed as social dilemmas, that is, conflicts between immediate individual interest and long-term collective interest, which weaken an individual's motivation to act. Additionally, behaviors are in most cases automatic, that is, there is no awareness of choices, and thus it is difficult to ask decision makers to make deliberate choices, as Verplaken and Roy say. Finally, cinema is a maximum tool for transmitting symbolic content, while it is an indirect dependence and interaction with the economic, cultural, and political environment, as Patty and Pittle say in their book. Thus, it can be said that the constant display of specific behavioral patterns may contribute to the transformation of individuals' choices to serve the goals of sustainable development and to contribute significantly to the promotion of the inclusion of vulnerable groups. Through the research, we have to define these research objectives. They are the follows: clarification of the terms, framing and related to sustainable development, as well as inclusion and occupational justice. Record the goals of sustainable development. Reflect the necessity of transition from hyper-consumerism to ethical consumption and building a sustainable culture. Evaluation of cinema's contribution to the transformation of political attitudes, perceptions, and beliefs. Film analysis to identify political attitudes that promote sustainable development goals and inclusion. In order to serve the objectives of the thesis, a literature review will be initially realized in order to contribute to the understanding of all critical concepts. Subsequently, a qualitative research will be conducted to serve the last objective, which is analyzing motion pictures to identify the political attitudes that promote the goals of sustainable development and inclusion. In more detail, a thematic analysis will be carried out, which will result through the observation of the researcher and specifically through watching movies. The following table shows in detail the steps that I'm going to follow, as well as by time to time for their implementation. We start with literature review, study of bibliographic data, writing literature review, defining the research problem, research dressing, develop information gathering tools, research implementation, watching movies, in-depth processing of information, then results presentation. Thank you very much.